Well, I'd say you've got a winner. Except for the bird poop, Jeannie said. I stood with my arms tightly folded around me. Mid-March and the brutal Michigan winter we'd had wasn't quite ready to loosen its grip for spring, much to the consternation of some pesky robins who had jumped the gun and crapped all over my brand-new office sign. Jeannie wasn't wrong. The bold blue paint had barely dried on the sign. The Leary Law Group, PC, was newly minted and newly moved. A few weeks ago, I'd gotten a lead on a soon-to-be new listing at the coveted corner of Main and Clancy Streets, directly across from the Woodbridge County Courthouse. It hadn't come cheap, but my billings were finally up. It seemed like a good omen. I took the leap. I'd like it more if it said Leary and Mills. I bumped her shoulder with mine. Jeannie Mills was the entire reason I went to law school in the first place. She was practically a Michigan institution in and of herself. One of the first and toughest female lawyers in the county, she'd taken me under her wing when my family name and white trash birthright might have dragged me down. But Jeannie was 71 now and less than a year from a cancer scare. She'd earned the right to work when and how she wanted. I had to settle for her of counsel status on my letterhead instead of a full partnership. She took the office just below mine, though. There was still time to convince her. "I'm proud of you, kid," she said, beaming up at me. By the looks of her, you might not peg her as the bulldog of the family court system. Jeannie was inches shorter than my 5'3". Her hair was still dark, but for a few streaks of pure white at the front. "I'm proud of you, too," I said. "Now let's get the hell inside. It's freezing out here." I put an arm around Jeannie. A year ago, that simple act would have broken my heart. She had steel in her back, but her cancer treatments had taken more out of her than she wanted to let on. Now Jeannie felt strong, hardy, vibrant again. I got a little choked up and turned my face away from her. She wouldn't like the fuss and hated when I got sappy. Unfortunately, the lobby wasn't quite as bright and shiny as the sign out front yet. I needed new flooring and a wall for my secretary, Miranda. I wanted her to have her own office for the first time in her life. She was another godsend and victory. I'd poached her out of retirement just like Jeannie. Miranda knew more about legal procedure than most young lawyers, and she was sick to death of working for them. I let her run the office how she saw fit, and knew her ideas were always right. My next step was finding more support staff to take some of the load of my growing practice off Miranda's shoulders. "Got anything scheduled today?" Jeannie asked. "Nope," I said. "Just a few discovery motions to finalize. Then I'll run them over to file." Jeannie shook her head. "You need a paralegal, Cass. High time you stopped doing that crap yourself." "I like doing that crap myself," I said. "You're a control freak. Trust me, I was like you 30-some years ago. It takes years off your life." I sighed. We had this argument a lot lately. Over the last year, since leaving my high-powered, big firm job in Chicago, I'd become a one-man band back here in Delphi. My love for it surprised me most of all. "I'll think about it," I said. "But it has to be the right person. I'm not in the mood to redo someone else's work. Sometimes it's just easier to do the stuff myself instead of taking the time to teach somebody else what I like." "Well," Jeannie said, "that's some short-sighted thinking." I raised a hand to ward her off. We had that particular argument a few times before, too. "Cass?" Miranda called out. She was on the stairs. For the time being, my office took up half the second floor of the building. We cleared a conference room in the other half. There was a utility room next to mine that Jeannie wanted to put said mystery paralegal in. "The sign looks great, Miranda," I said. Her smile was tight as she came down. I tilted my head. Something was up. She folded her hands in front of herself in a distinctly formal gesture. It dawned on me we may not be alone. Instinct flared. I crossed the lobby and peered out the window into the back lot. My heart dropped as I spotted the shiny black Lincoln Town car parked right next to mine. It bore Illinois plates.